Hello there and welcome back. Well, first of all, I need to give you a cuteness alert because we have got the cutest guests on this show, these fabulous 4 little characters. And we've got a brand new supplier with us and a brand new guest demonstrator, lovely Jo. And Jo, it's your company that we're here with today.
It is, yes.
And you put together all these fabulous kits.
Yes, I get to choose all my favourite fabrics. Now I do my own kits, that's the best bit.
And this is amazing. I mean, when you look at the quality of these, you can understand how you have been a toy designer and created professional
yes.
kind of kits and projects and things for people. But I know people at home are a little bit nosy, more so me, who's nosy and want to know more about you. So tell us a little bit about Jo and how you come to be here today.
Okay, well, I've been designing toys for about 20 years, actually. No, I had to add it up before.
Sit there and work it out.
Yeah. So I started designing toys for factory production.
Oh, right, okay.
And did that for about 10 years.
Yes.
And then when I had my sons, I wanted to keep my hand in, and so I produced patterns for magazines, so for home sewers.
Yes, yeah.
And then it's gradually evolved, and now I do my own kits.
I love this, and it's a fabulous company name as well. I love the 2 Owls Designs. Now, you can see these fabulous little characters that we're working our way along here. I will be introducing them to you as we work our way through. I'm going to start off with Mortimer, this fabulous little monkey that we've got at the end here, who is adorable. And I've actually got the kit of Mortimer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide you through. You little buddies, you have a little chat there while we have a little chat about Mortimer. And the kits come so beautifully packaged.
Thank you. Yeah, I really love, well, I love details,
Yeah.
so doing the sticker designs and all of it,
it's nice
really.
when you actually get a box that looks so fabulous that you just want to dive in there. So let me open this up. So this is how, if you are ordering Mortimer, the details of which are on your screen, you will get your kit in a box like this. Obviously, if you're going for something like Reginald the pug at the bottom there, and any of the other kits, they will come similarly packaged. First thing that strikes me is the professional feel that you've got, because this is the first time I've opened one of these boxes. So the instructions, these look amazing, and it's more of a booklet than a pattern. It
was really important to me that, because there's no reason why anyone would have made a toy before.
Yes, yeah.
I just really wanted to make sure everything was really well explained, and I have a fabulous pattern tester, my friend Lynn, and she will say, if you know, you need to add another photograph here and really explain this, because it's not, you don't necessarily just know how things go together. It's good to, and I think having photos as well,
yes,
so you can compare and really reassure.
Are brilliant, because it is literally what you are holding in your hands at each stage of this, so easy to refer to.
Yeah. That's how I do the that's how I do the photos.
No.
So
well, I'm very much a picture sort of person. So yeah, sometimes I don't even read the instructions, but yeah, I do like these. Now, with these, you're obviously going to get one for each one of those kits. Now, obviously, we've got the pattern pieces here. Now, I personally wouldn't want to break into this. Am I okay to kind of take a copy of that, maybe a photocopy or something like that, rather than chopping into the book?
Yes, I mean, you're going to have to copy the templates because they're on both sides of the pages as well.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so that would be the first thing that you need to do.
But yes, copying those either on a scanner or with tracing paper.
Okay, and they're just as the same size? We don't have to enlarge or decrease or anything like that on the photocopier?
No, increasing pattern templates is my big bugbear. I hate it, so I make sure they're all full size.
Wonderful. So we've got those. Obviously, that's going to come within your set. But then we have got, oh my goodness, that's when you open this up. Now, let's lay out what we've got here, because we have got the most incredible plush ingredients. This fur fabric, oh my goodness, Jo, this is like luxury fur fabric.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Gorgeous. Getting obviously the fabric there that's going to create Mortimer's body. You've got a little bit kind of like it's almost like a fur suede.
It is. It's really smooth. Almost got a velvety sort of feel to it.
Beautiful. Again, a luxury piece there. We've got a little bit of fabric here as well. So where would we be using this?
That's the inside of his nose. That's for his nostrils.
Oh, I like that. That's included. It's got big nostrils if you're looking at the piece of that you've got there. You're very generous. Obviously, you've got things like your safety eyes and your nose and elements in there. And then, of course, your skein of embroidery thread there. A little bit of hook and loop, all included within there. But you also get, look at this, you are getting a little pin badge as well. That's adorable.
My favourite part of the job, doing the pin badges.
And with the pin badges, is it dependent on which of the kits you go for as to the one that you're going to receive? So if you're going for the pug, you would get one with a little pug face on there?
Yes.
Love that idea. Now we are getting busy already. Lots of you loving Mortimer already, and rapidly approaching 10% of the stock has gone. If I bring Mortimer back in again, you can see why that hook and loop is there, because of course you can have him kind of giving you a hug or hugging. We had him hugging Reginald the pug earlier on. Very friendly little bunch. But that's a really good idea, I like that. All comes together beautifully. So if you fancy getting hold of your kit, let me just move the box out of the way, because to be honest, the box I'm not interested in. I'm interested in all the other little goodies. And his tail, look at the tail. Got a fabulous little coil on that tail as well. Absolutely beautiful. And I can't begin to tell you just how soft and squidgy he feels. Absolutely adorable. And that one is Mortimer. So who else have we got in the gang? We've got Reginald. So Reginald, similar to the kit that we just saw with Mortimer, you'll have all the elements that you need in there. And I have to say, I have got, oh my goodness, you get the bow tie as well, the fabric for the bow tie.
You do.
Oh.
When I saw the bones fabric.
It's just perfect, isn't it? Absolutely perfect. Can I turn him around though? Because this is the cutest bit. Look at the tail. Oh, now my little Molly, is a, well, we don't really know what she is. She's a rescue dog, but she's part Staffy. We think part Jack Russell as well. But she has got a little tail like this. We actually call her Piglet now as a nickname because the little tail's like this. But that's adorable. I love that. But is that just stuffed? There's no wire or anything like that in there?
No, that's and actually, when you see the pattern piece, it's not as twisty as you think either.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, there's just stuffing in that, and it really does sort of give the curly shape.
Gives it that curl. Incidentally, when you get your kit, you may well have noticed that you don't actually get toy stuffing within these kits. You're getting all the fabrics that you need. You just need to obviously add in your own threads, and then of course your own inspiration when you're working with these. And the toy stuffing, we have got toy stuffing available on the website. Again, you are going to get your little pug pin. There you go. You are going to get that in with your kit along with all those fabulous fabrics that we've been speaking of. And if you're wanting to get hold of your own Reginald pug kit, details are on your screen. They're £29.99. Now you have a little chat there with Mortimer, Reginald, while I introduce your next little buddy. Now, this fur, it's almost like little roses that you've got with this fur, little swirls.
Well, it is. It's called Cuddle Rose fabric.
Oh, I see. And he's a very well-dressed bear.
Well, got to make him smart.
It's his first TV debut. It's going to look his best. Are we going to be able to make the little tie as well?
Yes, the fabric's in for the bow tie.
And they're so soft, so soft. Now, this particular one, has he got jointed arms? Because they do feel quite movable with these.
No, he's... I wanted to give him a traditional look, but no, he's not got the joints inside the arms.
Okay. They can be a bit scary, I think, sometimes to actually put those in place. A bit tricky, maybe. They
can, and sometimes you have issues with then it's no longer a toy.
I see, right.
Depending on which joints are fitted.
That's a good point, actually. I do like that. But of course, this is your fabulous little bow. Bow we've got a little tail. He's got a little tail there, little stubby tail, as you can see there. And of course, he is going to have his own little pin. And look at this, even his little tie on his pin matches. How amazing is that? These are almost collectibles, these pins. Fabulous idea.
They are my favourite part. When they arrive and I get to open the box and see them.
I bet. So, of course, if you're wanting to get hold of your Bow Bear, then the details are there on your screen. £29.99. But you may well notice we've got somebody waiting patiently in the wings here. This is so adorable. This is Godfrey. Godfrey is so sweet. Look at him, absolutely adorable. And he's a lovely sloth. It's lucky to catch him awake, really, isn't it? Because I do like a bit of a snooze.
It's true.
He's adorable. He's got those lovely long arms, as you can see there. Beautiful the way that you've actually put the face together to get all the markings as well. Such clever construction.
Before I start a design, I like to print out a picture of the actual animal as well, so I've got a reference. Yeah. I mean, they become quite stylised in the end, but if I can keep as much accuracy in there as possible.
But that's nice because you can instantly look at them and recognise them for the particular animal that they are. Again, little Godfrey has got a little tail. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. So adorable. Fabulous little tail there for him as well. And of course, he has got his own little pin. There you go, as you can see there. £29.49 if you fancy getting hold of this kit. You will get your little Godfrey pin badge in there as well. And they are all such affordable. We're busy for all of them, incidentally, folks. So 749173. Now, of course, they are luxury kits. You're going to have all that fabulous fur fabric in there, some of which I've never seen before. But if you do prefer to just get hold of patterns, we have got pattern booklets available for you as well. Now, this is the item number, and this one you are either going to be able to order your pattern for your Mortimer Monkey, or as an alternative, you've got Reginald Pug under the same item number, as you can see there, £11.99. There are options, no fabric included with those, so do bear that in mind. So it does make it a very affordable bundle if you do look at the kits, because you've got all the fabric to get you started, and you are still getting that pattern in there. So 202722. Now, naturally, we have got patterns available for you for Godfrey, and of course, fabulous little bear, Beau Bear. We have got those patterns available for you by themselves, again, either of those under the same item number at £9.99. So 259750. There is Godfrey, just reclining. He's just chilling at home as you do. And then the beautiful Beau. But again, no fabrics included with either of those. But if you are wanting the beautiful lush fabrics that come with them, then do check out those kits. So, Jo, what do we need to know? Where do we get started when our kit arrives?
Okay, the first job, it's always a good idea to read through the pattern first, just to get a bit of a feel about how it's constructed. But marking out and cutting out the pieces is the first stop. Sometimes in a pattern I will put a cutting guide, so where to position the templates on the fabric. If not, general rule of thumb, mark out the larger pieces first, so you've definitely got enough room, and then you can fit the smaller ones around them. With the monkey, the tail, because the tail is curly and quite thin, that's approached in a different way. So you cut out a square of fabric first, and then fold it over, right sides together, and then baste the edges so it just doesn't slip. And then you trace out the template on that and then sew following the line. It's all explained in the pattern.
Oh, that's good to know. Good to know.
Just to make that easier.
The face is just such, I mean, when you look at these are the kind of toys that you would see in a high-end department store and you'd pick up for a baby's first, I don't know, it could be baby's first birthday, or there's been a baby announced it's due on the horizon, so to speak. But those faces, these are absolutely amazing. But saying that, as a big kid myself, I wouldn't mind collecting these because they're adorable as well. So yeah, busy for all of them. Okay, so that's the tail. We've covered kind of the aspects of the tail.
Okay. There are a lot of curves, really, but there are techniques to, because I know sewing around curves can put people off sometimes, but there are techniques you can use just to make it easier. So these are the pieces for Godfrey's side face, so with his eye patch in there. And sometimes, if you've got a curved edge like this, it can be easier. It seems counterintuitive, but to put the other piece on top and bend it round.
Oh, I see.
As you sew.
Yes.
But to make it easier still, you could first just tack it on with big stitches.
That's a good idea, yes, yeah.
So if there's a seam that you're a little bit unsure about, tack it on first. And then sew over it.
That's a good tip, actually, because with the little tacking stitches, sometimes they're better. Although you might think it's more timely, it actually saves you time as time goes on, because if you're putting pins in there, it can be quite tricky to keep that curve balanced. And of course, at the end of the day, you want Mortimer to look like a monkey, don't you? You don't want him to kind of have a different shaped face, and that's why it's key to follow it the way that it is. So, and also, you can clip the lower part, so this underneath his eye patch, there's a little bit more of a curve to it. So just clip into the seam allowance, not as deep as the seam allowance, but just give it a little clip, and that as well will just help it flex more and meet the edge. I see. That you want to. And of course, the pieces that we've got here, these are making up. Can I point that it's out on Godfrey, isn't it? The side piece of his face there. So you can see where you've got that striped effect there. So you've got the little panel there for his eye. It's almost like he's got a little superhero mask on. So the pieces that we're referring to, the top segment there, his eye, and then obviously coming down into his jawline. And we have got the details for Godfrey's own kit on the screen. So they've all got kind of little unique elements. They have in their makeup. I follow similar techniques every time, really, but then there will be little differences. Godfrey has an inset face, so you have a sort of a border around the front, so you get this fabric. When he's looking front on, you can still see the textured fabric, and the same with Mortimer. Oh, I see, and it's kind of where they've well, yeah, exactly as you said there, their face is different to the fur that's around them, whereas with Beau and Reginald, the complete face is done in the same sort of fabric. Yes. Makes sense. Now, Mortimer has proven to be very, very popular. Look at that face. 20% of the stock has gone on Mortimer, so if that is your preferred kit, then definitely do make sure you pop that one into your basket. Don't forget all the other little chappies that you've got. You've got your fabulous little Reginald here, as you can see, your little Pug He's so adorable. My daughter would absolutely adore him. Bo Bear has got that beautiful kind of rose fur, and if you look into the fur, you'll notice there's kind of little squirrels. Almost gives him a little scruffy nature to him. So this one is Bo, and of course Bo does come with his bow, literally around his neck, ready for you to stitch and tie in place. And then of course we just had a little bit of an insight into how Godfrey's gorgeous little face comes together from Joe, using 3 little segments on either side of the centre of his nose. So if you're wanting Godfrey, then the details are popping up on your screen now. And again, all the kits have got all the fur fabric in. All you need to do is add in your soft toy filling, and of course your threads to put them all together. So what are we up to next?
Okay, I'll show how to add the nose in for Godfrey.
Okay.
Once the side panels are added to the centre of the face, an opening then forms in between. Now, I've spoken about curves, but where I can, I will make things straight lines, but then with pivot points, so that you sew to the end of the line, pause with the needle down through the fabric, and then pivot. It just makes it a little bit easier. So this is the top of the nose, so it's not really the shape you're necessarily expecting for a nose, but we've got 3 straight edges there.
Okay.
So I'll line it up, and I'll sew up to the top, up to the corner, and then pause.
Okay, so this is kind of going, is this the centre part of it, or is it going, it's going from the outside edge in?
Yeah.
Lovely.
I should say as well that I'm driving the machine with my left foot, which I'm not used to.
Yeah,
so.
when I first met Jo, it was actually Jo's screen test, but since then she has managed to break her foot. So yeah, at the moment you're sewing with your left foot, which I'm guessing is not your natural foot to sew with, is that right? You're more right-footed?
I am right-footed. Slightly ambi-foot dexterous now. Sorry.
No, that's okay, don't worry. So yeah, that's something that has evolved since we last met. But yeah, you're doing well though. You're getting used to it. And also, it's a sewing machine that she's not familiar with. The actual stitches though, are they a 1/4 inch seam that you were mentioning earlier?
1/4 inch seam, 6mm, and use a short, between 2 and 2.5 millimetres
for your stitch length. Oh, that's interesting, because I would have quite often with a thicker fabric you have to open up the stitch length, but I suppose you could have your stuffing coming out if it's too open. Yeah,
you want really sturdy seams, but at the same time it can be a fiddle to remove stitches that small through fabric that's furry as well.
Okay.
So I'll show, if you're unsure about a seam, start first by using a longer stitch length.
Yes.
To join them together, and if you're happy with the way it's gone, then over sew it.
That's a good tip. Like that tip.
A shorter stitch then.
So you've pivoted on that corner now and worked your way across almost kind of the centre part of the nose.
Yep. So pop the needle down and then lift the presser foot, and then because it's straight lines, just line it back up for the last bit.
Okay. Lovely.
There we go. Press that one.
Fabulous.
And then the nose fits in.
That sits so neatly.
The noses with, I don't often do noses like this, but it just happens that 3 out of the 4, they're going to be cones.
Oh, I see. So the underside is just stitched and it naturally gives it its shape then?
Yes, yeah, so at the end we'll stitch the point over just to give it the shape.
Oh, I see. So I just feel awkward looking up his nose, but if I just tilt his head back, you might be able to see that it kind of tucks underneath. It's a bit tricky to show you, but gives it that shape rather than it being more of a pointed nose, which it would be if you just stuffed it as it is. Then tucking it underneath gives it that lovely, that rounded shape to his face. And the little smile as well. I mean, look at that. The embroidery threads are included to allow you to put that smile in place as well.
They are. And also, when it's a cone and you're stitching it over, it means it's a bigger piece when it goes in, which makes it slightly easier as well.
Good point, yeah. Do like that. So basically his faces come together pretty much with 6 pieces. Well, is it 6 pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, and that's it. His faces come together. That's really easy.
It does. It comes together really quickly, and then I've already joined the outer face pieces. It's just they're just sewn together.
Seam kind of on the top of his head. Okay.
And then the way I find this easiest to do, there's a dart in the top. I'd have closed that dart, so just bring the edges together. And I sew from the fold out, because sometimes the fabric, it can just get caught a little bit if you sew from the raw edge in. So I tend to go fold out. And then I will line up that seam with the dart and sew one side at a time.
Okay.
Just then you know that the face is going on looking straight forward and it's not going to get twisted. So yeah, I would sew it on that way, a side at a time, but also because of this curve clip where it's
to ease it into
a tighter
place
curve,
again,
yeah.
just like you showed us before with the little clips as well. And with the with this actually putting the fabrics together, if people have not stitched with fur fabric before, they may have stitched with other fabrics where they're used to pressing the seams as they go. Do we do anything like that with fur fabric?
No, occasionally I'll finger press the seam just to open it so that, but even then you don't really get the bulk from the seams. In that way it's quite forgiving, and there's a little bit of stretch to the fabric.
That's a good point,
which works. Often it works to your advantage. There's not so much stretch that it goes out of shape, but there's a little bit if you think, well, that's not quite going to fit. Just give it a little bit of
I love it.
of encouragement.
Fabulous, there you go. So as you've seen, it couldn't be any simpler really. You've got Susan, maybe straight lines, maybe a few curves involved, and then all those pieces start coming together. And I'm going to give Jo an opportunity to get ready for her next demonstration. I'm going to give you a little bit of a recap because of course the patterns are available by themselves. So if it is a case that you didn't want to take obviously advantage of the kits, then you can get hold of the patterns if you're wanting to. So yeah, all you need to do is literally pop those patterns in. Now we've got two different item numbers with regards to these ones. So you can see there 202 will get you, 202722 will get you the patterns for either Mortimer, the monkey that we've just been speaking of at the table, or Reginald, your little pug, as you can see there. So yeah, whichever one you choose to go for, they're on the same item number. Incidentally, if you decide to go for both of them, then of course they're on the same item number. It's just one post and packing. Now the other two characters, if you're wanting both Bear or Fabulous Godfrey that we've just been learning about, then they are available as patterns by themselves. And again, it's a separate item number, and we're looking at £9.99. So 259750. You've got obviously your little Godfrey, and then of course the second one that you saw there was Bo Bear. No fabrics included with those pattern booklets naturally, but of course you have got all the knowledge and the know-how that Jo puts in those pages to get you so you can achieve your own fabulous little Mortimer. Do bear in mind though, the kit's on your screen there, £32.49. You would be paying £11.99 for your pattern normally, so take that out of the equation, and I think you'll find that it's a very affordable way for you to get these gorgeous luxury plush fabrics to actually create these. So you can see there the difference between the two prices there. Will get you all the elements you need, and of course that fabulous little pin badge that you can see. Pin badge will vary depending on which of the kits you go for, but it will also always depict the character that you've chosen to go for within your kit. And it's beautiful fabric. I mean, the luxury feel, I think you can pick that up when you actually look at Mortimer, because when you look at him, he is a character that you would expect to see in a high-end department store or a luxury toy shop. We all know those luxury ones that you find down in London, but this is the kind of character. Or maybe, yeah, that's a good point as well. You know, when you go to the airports as well, you often find these gorgeous plush toys that are for sale, and that's the kind of quality that we're looking at. And that's Jo's knowledge and know-how. She's been involved within toy manufacturing for, well, the best part of 20 years, and she doesn't look old enough, does she? But she has, and she knows all the know-how. She knows how to put these pieces together to make them simple, but also to make them look the way they are intended to do. Now, within each of the kits, you will get, and we'll go through them all individually, you will obviously get your beautiful box that it comes in with the signage, which you just know you've got quality within that box. But then you've got your fabrics. Obviously, you've got your two shades with regards to this one, so you've kind of got your flesh tones for his face and his hands, and of course his little feet, and then you've got that darker tone there, which is going to make the fabulous nostrils. It's such a clever way that they're put together, and the plush fabric for his main body. You're also going to get all the elements that you need to turn him into a toy, so you've got things like your eyes, you've got noses. Of course, this will vary dependent on which of the kits you go for, but you'll also get your embroidery thread and your hook and loop if they are needed within the project. So again, brilliant value at £32.49. I am sure you will agree. And of course, the pattern that you get, you can reuse that pattern if you wanted to incorporate your own fabrics as time goes on. Perhaps turn them into little memory monkeys. You never know. 620025. But of course, Mortimer's not on his own. He has brought his buddies with him, including Reginald. And Reginald is a pug, as I'm sure you can see. Absolutely adorable design. I mean, his face, he looks so, so sweet. That gorgeous dark plush fabric there, creating his muzzle and his lovely little ears. He looks so dapper with that wonderful little bow. Well, it's a bow and a bow tie, isn't it? The fabric is included for that within your kit as well. And as I turn little Reginald round, I have to show you, he has the cutest, curliest little tail that is in the back there. So, so sweet. Now, £29.99. Again, you will get your box, you will get your pattern booklet, and it is more like a booklet than an actual pattern, because patterns can tend to be paper with these highest quality. So do make sure that you photocopy the elements, because they're double-sided. Don't go chopping into your booklet. Keep that pristine and photocopy the pattern as and when you need it, obviously for your own purposes within the use of the kit. Then you've got obviously all your gorgeous fabric. It's just beautiful to feel, so soft. The lovely jet black that you can see there, and that gorgeous kind of sable tone that you've got from the second fabric that you're going to need, and then of course all the supplementary pieces that you need to ensure you are getting that professional quality finish. £29.99, 475780. Absolutely adorable, I think you'll agree. But of course we have others. We've seen Mortimer the Monkey with his lovely curly tail, fabulous little pug here with Reginald, and again another little curly tail. But what about a teddy bear? This is something. Perhaps you've got a new niece or nephew, or maybe you've got a grandchild on the horizon. What a beautiful way of you creating an heirloom piece for them using one of these kits. Absolutely beautiful. Kim, our producer, has just come up with a fabulous idea. You've got a large open area on the foot there, so it could be that you're even embroidering a little heart, or maybe the date of the baby's birth, or it could be anything that you like, really, the year that they're born, potentially. Have a look at the fabric, though. I have never seen this kind of fur fabric. You kind of got these little swirls. Really, really sweet. Apparently, it kind of depicts roses, and if I turn him around, you'll be able to see it on his back as well, because you've got such a beautiful shape. Now, because of the design, you haven't got jointed limbs, but he is quite flexible. But to be honest, I think he's one of these ones that you just sit and cuddle, really, don't you? Absolutely adorable. Look at the gorgeous swirls that you've got within there, like little roses within the fur. Absolutely beautiful. Very traditional style bear, and that's something that Joe wanted to bring to you, but without the additional elements of having to put jointed features in there. And of course, it is one of those things that does make it and keep him as a toy. Of course, you've got your fabulous little bow that you're going to be able to make, but of course you may want to incorporate some of your own fabrics if you want to. But again, he's got those gorgeous little eyes there, and all the fabric that you could possibly need. All you need to add in is your toy stuffing. And don't forget, again, as is the case with any one of the kits, you're going to get that fabulous little pin badge depicting Bo, even with his little blue kind of bow around his neck. You will be collecting these. Every single kit does come alongside one of these fabulous little pins there. Absolutely adorable. 248427 if you're wanting to get hold of your bow. Very, very popular kit during this hour as well. And then finally, we've got lovely Godfrey. I mean, Godfrey, he's just got one of those kind of expressions, hasn't he? He looks adorable. A sloth, well known for sleepiness, so perhaps it could be a case if you've got a little person that needs a little bit of help at night time going off to sleep. Well, I think this little cheery face will help them a lot. £29.49p. Again, everything that you need. The beautiful, it's very similar fur to the one that we just saw with Bo. So if I turn him round, you'll be able to, oh, look at that tummy. Oh, Godfrey, what have you been up to? You can see here you've got that gorgeous kind of rose swirl within that fabric. The cutest little tail again appearing there. And of course, the expression and the facial features all captured perfectly because of Jo's professional knowledge of how to put these pieces together. And so simple as well. That's the thing that I love when she's talking through it. Just makes it feel achievable. £29.49 is your price for your Godfrey kit, and you can see that. I love the way that we've spoken about you now. It's not your moment, it's not your time, it's Godfrey now, if you don't mind. So at 749173 we'll get you a fabulous Godfrey kit on its way to you. Now, have you seen our 7-day savers? They were launched at 8 o'clock this morning, and we've got some threads. Now, these are beautiful threads, as you can see. You could be using them in a majority of different sewing scenarios. They're perfect for working with embroidery, as you can see, the embroidery yarn, so they've got that gorgeous kind of glossiness to them, so perfect if you're using them with an embroidery machine. And at £15, that is a lot of thread there for that money. 7-day saver, it was launched at 8 o'clock this morning, but you only have up until 8 o'clock next week to take advantage of those because they only run for a 7-day period. But we've got a mega deal for you. It's a monthly one. Monthly mega deal now. This one, oh, the Fiskars Scissors. These are fabulous. You've got 2 pairs, as you can see, with these. £24.99, £14.99. As I like to say, 1 pair to use and 1 pair to lose, because you do always lose a pair of scissors somewhere along the way, don't you? 419627 if you fancy getting hold of those. And I think those would be perfect for cutting out your fabulous fabrics within your kits as well. So yeah, why not add them in alongside your kit? Now, the fabric that you've moved over to, this is beautiful.
This was I picked up a sample of this fabric and I designed the bear because I had the fabric. Normally the fabric comes second, but I saw it and I had to do something with it. So that's how it came about.
And is that how it sometimes works? You see the fabric and you think, oh, that fabric is gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I need to find a way of using it.
Yes, a lot of the time. I think because, well, I'm a bit of a fabric enthusiast as well, a bit of a fabric bore, if I'm honest.
Not at all.
But yes, if it was the texture and the fact that it's two-tone as well, so you've got the dark underneath that comes through and sort of increases the rose. Sort of look to it,
yeah. And it gives them their personality. This is the key thing.
Yeah.
If somebody's going for one of the kits and they choose to use perhaps their own fabrics afterwards, does it have to be a fur fabric that they use? I mean, could they quilt some fabric and perhaps use those pieces of fabrics together?
You could absolutely do that. I've made bears with fabric I've quilted before now. And actually, I've made Bow Bear in a shorter pile. Like the fabric used for Reg. And actually, he turned out really nicely in that. So a shorter pile as well. And it does, it doesn't have to be for...
Well, this is it, and I know memory bears are very big at the moment, aren't they? Using fabrics and clothes from family members that sadly we've had to say goodbye to. But also, we've got Kim and Marie, and she's got a little boy, and she says, I've got loads of baby clothes. Well, you could do that, couldn't you?
You could. I mean, if you add woven interfacing on the back of the fabric just to support it.
Yes,
because if it's been washed a few times, you want to make sure it's holds shape, really, and structure. But yeah, you could do...
You don't want a saggy baggy bear, do you?
Although maybe that would look quite charming.
Yeah, it would quite sweet as well, isn't it? Okay, so we've got the fabric for bow, so we're going to bring the detail. In fact, we've got the details on the screen already for Bow Bear. £29.99 being your kit. And what did you want to show us next?
Well, we were saying about the limbs. It has a traditional look, but done in a more modern way. So there aren't the joints, but the way that the arms attach is we've got an opening there on each one, and that sort of matches up and then sew around that to join it on.
You can see that kind of on the pattern. If I can just slide the pattern closer towards you, you can see you've got kind of like a little cut-out area there. So there'll be a similar cut-out on the arm as well?
Yes, same shape.
Fair enough.
But because of the pile length of the fur, it can be really, I don't know whether you can see on this one, you can sort of lose
tricky to see
the opening. So, and this is in the pattern, one of the tips is just very carefully around the edge of the opening, just snip away the longer fibres.
A bit of a haircut.
Bit of a trim. And then you can see the edges. But then as well, when we come to, that's quite a chunky bit. When we come to match them up, again, as we were saying before, use a longer stitch length and sort of do a test seam around it.
So you're comfortable that it's in the right position.
Yeah, so pin them on if you want, and then sew around it, which I do. I think this is not going to match up, but I'll show you.
Okay.
To me.
Well, we'll get a grasp it. So literally around, and again, is it 1/4 of an inch away from that little...
1/4 of an inch again.
So, and again, needle down, and then
pivot at the corners. So we'll go straight around, and if you've got this longer stitch, maybe I should have reduce the speed a little bit.
No, well, it's a sensitive machine, but no, it shows it perfectly there.
It's a fab machine. Yeah. So sew around a slightly neater rectangle than that. But actually, it's not too bad, but I might not be happy with this bit here, the seam allowance being a bit small.
Yes.
So just because the stitches are nice and long, take them out and reposition and try again.
That's a good tip. I like that idea.
And the same at the bottom with the leg. There's sort of a circular opening here, this opening, and it mirrors the opening on the leg. And again, it's a curve as well, so things might go a bit astray. So long stitches, and if there's a bit you're not happy with, you could just take those stitches out, readjust it, and then once you're happy with them, oversew with the small stitch.
Could you show us that actually stitched? Is that okay, just so we can kind of grasp it? And because it being a curve, it's a bit different, and I know some people that I've spoken to in the past few years, they sometimes struggle with a curve, and it's kind of knowing, when you're doing a curve, do you kind of stop and then kind of move your fabric and keep doing it in several stages, or do you do it in just one run around the curve?
No, I think people think one run around is the way to do it, but I mean, I've been doing it for years, and I don't. I'll do a couple of stitches, pause with the needle down, readjust, just brush the fabric, the long fur out of the way so I can see the cut edge, and then just keep doing it like that, nice and slowly. Because the process is supposed to be as much of the enjoyable bit, so if it lasts a bit longer.
And it's just take your time. That's the key thing, isn't it? And I suppose if you wanted to, you could make a bear, almost like a trial bear, out of your own fabric before you actually use your plush fabric, if you're not overly confident. So it could be any fabric that you've got, really.
So I think sewing, it's all confidence, really.
Yes, yeah. Paola, one of our presenters here, she's just getting, you've probably met Paola already, and she's just getting into the grips. I'm actually going with her on Tuesday to help her with a sewing machine that she's after. And yeah, she's like a sponge at the moment. She's absorbing everything. I noticed she's got a few more sewing goodies in the presenters lounge, and it's different styles of sewing. Sometimes it's nice to change from one, maybe if you're a quilter, to try something else.
Absolutely. I don't dressmake at all, because, and it's silly because I always say, just give it a, just be confident, and if it goes wrong, you can change things. But I find dressmaking patterns too intimidating, so I don't do it.
Well, your patterns certainly are. I mean, when you have a look at these, they are so simple, nice and easy, and that's the key thing, that you make it so easy for you to work with. The patterns, I mean, I've got Mortimer Monkey here with the pattern, and it's brilliant because every single piece that you're working with, every segment, what Jo have done, and this is something that's very key to you, isn't it, to make it nice and interesting and easy for you to figure out. Do you take the photographs yourself? Because they're brilliant quality.
I do, and I will sew, and so that I don't miss a step out. I will make one item, and it's all the same.
So each time
monkey.
you're pausing, and you're taking a photo. And so much information there. I mean, you are not left on your own at all. Now, that's where you were talking about the tail there, and how the tail is stitched in a slightly different way. Because instantly, I would cut out that piece and try and stitch it together, but that looks a much more simple way of actually stitching it out the larger piece.
It is, and if you don't stick exactly to the line, and it doesn't really matter, but as long as you've got the general shape of the tail, and then once you've sewn it, just trim it out then, and you know it's going to be the right
That's the key thing, is it makes it nice and easy. Now, of course, Mortimer Monkey, that's one of the kits that we've got. He is proving to be very popular. It's a beautiful kit, as they all are, to be honest. I think it's probably a good time for me to give you a little bit of a review. Little Mortimer here, look, there he is, trying to nudge his way into the screen there. Mortimer Monkey is the kit that we showed you at the top of the eye. He's proving to be a very popular chap. Of course, you've got those gorgeous long arms with that Velcro there. So if he wanted to give you a hug, or a little a pug hug, then he could do that quite easily. You can see there, he can, I don't know whether it's a hug or he's just kind of grabbing him around the neck, but you can see there, you can have a bit of fun with those. Absolutely adorable. And of course, he doesn't look too happy, does the old Reggie there? The tail, that fabulous tail there with that curl there, I mean, look at that, absolutely adorable. I think we better release the little Reggie there. He might start growling in a few moments. Reggie, if you fancy getting hold of Reginald, well, he is your little pug, and he is adorable. He's got the curliest little tail there, so much attention to detail. Oh, you're having a little snooze now, are you? There you go. So cutest little tail, as you can see there. £29.99. Of course, everything that you need, bar the stuffing. Stuffing can be quite a personal thing as well with regards to making toys, but that plush fabric, look at that. That is a sign of quality, isn't it? So that one is Reginald. All your kits come with your patterns, but we have got the patterns available, and I'm sure I'll tell you about that in a few moments. Bo the Bear, he is proving to be a very popular little chap as well. You just want to give him a little squeeze. Oh, he's adorable. Bo's proving to be popular as well. 20% of the stock has gone. Now I'm going to bring the book in for Bo because he's proving to be so popular. Should we have a little look at the instructions? Is this one, I mean, would Bo be a good one for a first-time toy maker to have a go at?
I think so. It's quite straightforward. It is just mastering the fabric and just getting used to the feel of it. But there'll be offcuts, you know, have a practice, feel how it goes through the machine. A ballpoint needle, it's not essential, but a ballpoint needle in size about 14 is a great needle to use for making these. Although I'll be honest, I often just use a regular machine needle.
Yeah. You might have one of those. It's kind of like a stretch needle as well. So if you've been stitching any sweatshirts or t-shirts and things like that. And again, the pattern pieces, they're good sized pieces, these patterns. So nothing too fiddly.
No, nothing too fiddly. Sometimes it's just a case of sort of thinking, it's sort of being in the zone, and because sometimes you think, well, how does that go? But once you've got it in front of you and you can manipulate things, it becomes, with the photos, it becomes clear. It helps you
on your way. Little Bo, if you fancy getting hold of Bo, very, very busy, lots of you adoring Bo, and just a fabulous one, absolutely gorgeous. Again, lovely plush fabric, luxury fabric, and yeah, a quarter of the stock has gone now. That rose twist, I mean, it looks beautiful. Absolutely good. I mean, you source the most incredible fabrics for these kits. Beautiful.
such a great part of the job.
Well, it kind of makes them, doesn't it? If you excuse the pun, it gives them their personality, and yeah, adorable. If you're wanting your little bow, then the details are there on your screen there, 248427. But last but by no means least is the fabulous Godfrey that we've got here as well. Godfrey's quite a tall little character when you look at him, because he's got his long legs, as you can see there, and of course he has got those long arms, which I suppose if you've got some hook and a loop of your own, you could add that to him as well.
You could.
You? Yeah.
But they do have ridiculously long arms.
They do actually, yeah. They're quite an awkward looking animal really, aren't they, when you see them?
Yeah, especially when they try and walk on normal ground.
And of course they are incredibly sleepy as well. I think they're only awake for something like 1 or 2 hours a day, which doesn't sound like a bad idea, does it? I think I could live like a sloth. Now the details on your screen, if you're wanting to get hold of Godfrey, then the details are there. Again, you're going to have all of those fabulous elements in there. What you might find though is you're going to be treating yourself to a couple of those kits, or maybe getting yourself a kit and then maybe going for some of the patterns, because of course we have got the patterns available for you as well. They're in sets of 2. So if you're wanting to go for Mortimer and Reginald, $11.99 either of these two, and then you can see there you're going to be able to make these, obviously adding in your own fabrics as you go with these. $11.99, 202722. But if you want to go for your other two, then these are under a different item number. They're only $9.99, incredible value. And as you can see there, either of these ones are under item number 259750. So you might be treating yourself to a kit, but then maybe investing in an additional pattern, or treating yourself to a couple of those kits. Well, if you do go for a couple of the kits, then your basket is likely to go through the £60 threshold, and of course that means you can spread the cost over 2 payments. And here's Leonie to explain how.
Flexi order has arrived at Hochanda. What is Flexi order? When you place an item on Flexi Buy in your basket, you qualify for Flexi order, which means any other items you add to your basket will also be included in your Flexi Buy payments, so you can spread the cost over multiple monthly payments. After your first payment is made, your entire order will be dispatched. When you add at least £60 worth of any items to your shopping basket, either online or on the phone, you'll qualify for our Flexi order offer. This means you can spread the cost of your order over equal monthly Flexi Buy payments, offering you the extra flexibility when you shop with us. Flexi order, making your shopping experience with Hochanda easier.
It certainly does, and we are having a very busy hour. Lots of you taking advantage of those kits, and it's not surprising. We've got a brand new company, Two Owls Designs, lovely Jo with me, and it's her company, and she is the designer behind these, and a professional toy designer for many years.
Yes.
Made kits and patterns and all sorts of fabulous things. And you know how to kind of put these patterns together to make them look the way that they're intended.
Yes.
And one of the key things that we see with the pug, which you've got obviously Reginald pug on your screen, is that kind of short muzzle. So how do we manage to do that?
Well, I put off making a pug for a long time because I just wasn't quite sure how to approach it. But it's the folds, isn't it, with a face like that. We prepare the pieces, because I don't know if you can see, above his nose there's like a big fold.
It's a bit tricky to see because you've got, around here, if I do apologise. Can you see? Yeah. Can you see you've kind of got a fold of fabric there? It's a bit tricky with dark fabric on the screen there, but you kind of got that fold that wraps around over the top of his nose there. So is that the piece that you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Lovely. That would be very awkward if you said no at that stage.
It's completely
That's not
different.
what I'm about at all.
This is actually my template from home, and it's a little bit battered. And we need to prepare the piece first by adding that fold in before we sew anything else. Add the nose in first, so that bit's done, and it's very similar to Godfrey's nose.
Godfrey's,
yeah, so straight lines and pivoting. But the finished piece should fold. So it's that size.
Okay.
So then fold this over and fold it back on itself. It's detailed in the instructions, and then pop a pin in it and sew along from this side, sew along the top of the fold just to hold it in place. Before you sew, just double check with the template.
And that's a good idea, actually folding the pattern piece to get a feel for how it's going to go with the fabric. It's a good tip, that.
And I've also put in colour-coded letters as well, just to make sure you know which bits have to meet up with where.
So the E and the E come together, the D and the D come together, and so on. Right.
And it's the same as well with the I. This doesn't look like a regular piece either.
So you wouldn't look at that and think, you think that was an arm or a leg or something like that.
But he has a brow, so he's got another little fold above each eye.
Oh yes, so he has. But, oh, I'm sticking my fingers in his eyes now. This doesn't seem right at all, but they're for those little, oh, he's got little hooded eyes there. Oh, that's clever. So again, a similar sort of technique.
Again, and it's labelled in the pattern, but you fold the piece back on itself so that we've got a fold there, a sort of an eyebrow fold, and then again stitch it along the back with the coordinating thread so you won't see it.
Okay.
Although you could use a darker thread if you wanted to sort of accentuate it. And then I've got a face here where I've joined all the pieces together. So we've got that fold there above the nose.
Yes, yeah.
And then one on either side for the eyebrows.
That's such a clever. I wouldn't even know where to start with that, getting those features in place.
But it might be easier to see from this side.
Yes,
so we've got the folds here above the eyes. And it goes together in a very similar way, that central face panel to Godfrey. So there are sort of similarities between the patterns.
And of course, if you're doing one of those, that you'll come across, and the pieces that we're talking about, I'm just trying to find the details in here. You're going to get a booklet in the kit, and you can see here where we're detailing that part that we've just seen a few moments ago on this page here, where you're taking those pieces, you put in that little kind of matching the notches there, as you can see, sewing the seam, as Joe's just told us. I have to say, it does look a bit scary down at the bottom there, but that is him inside out, isn't it? But that just shows you how secure those eyes are going to be. And then obviously you progress right the way through. And is it best to follow the instructions as the pattern says here? So from the beginning through to the, don't jump into a certain segment?
Yes, follow it step by step. And it's the easiest way. And I try as well, if it's got fiddly sort of sections like this, I try to make other areas a bit more simplistic, just because you can be sort of, you know.
But the face is key though, isn't it? So getting it right with the face, that is the key thing. The pattern, incidentally, if you want the pattern by itself, we have got the details at the side there, 202722. You have got Reginald the Pug being your choice with this particular one, and if I remember rightly, is it Mortimer is his buddy? So these two patterns are on the same item number. You only get one of the patterns, but of course if you do go back in and order again, you'll get the second on the same item number and no additional post and packing. So those are details for those on there.
Okay. Should I move on to sort of hand finishing?
You can do. Well, we've got about 10 minutes left, so yeah, that probably would be a good idea.
Okay. Well, I was saying before about the cone-shaped nose.
Yes.
So 3 of them. Mortimer's slightly different, but it's a triangle again that's stitched forward, sort of over the nostril panel to give his nose shape. Godfrey and Reg, it folds over and it sort of creates a look of 2 nostrils either side as well.
Yes, yeah.
Doing that. So I'll stitch this down really quickly.
So what sort of thread are you using for this? Does it have to be super thick thread or anything like that?
It's just standard thread. I would use a smaller needle than this, but I obviously looked in my needle book and only had huge needles.
Now we have got some thread that is on the show from Coates Moon thread, so you could potentially use some of these in there. And a really good price with regards to this, as we always have with Coates threads. You can see there you have got a special price where you're saving £5 on this one, bringing them down to £20.95. You've actually got 20 spools in there. Yeah, I think you've got a choice of 2 different boxes with these, if I remember. So you've got your neutrals, which are perfect for working with your fur fabrics, aren't they? All those gorgeous neutral tones there. But if you fancy something a little bit brighter for your other sewing potentially, then this might be the right one to go for. £20.95, whichever of those 2 sets you decide to go for.
Right, so I'll really quickly just finish sewing this. I would spend a little bit longer, and I would also use coordinating thread, but I thought it'd be easy to see if I use white.
Years and years ago, I did do some toy making, but I used a longer fur, perhaps something along the lines of the rose fur, and you used to have to get like a little teasel brush to kind of bring it out of the seams. Do you not have to do that with these at all? Is it automatically, because it kind of caught it up and you could see?
It can, and sometimes it's good to get, I often will just run a needle along and just
pull them out of the seam.
Yeah, gradually just bring them out. But it is better with the longer fur sometimes that you tease the
like
fur.
a little toothbrush or something like that just to pull it out of the seam.
All toys have, well, I say this, most toys have face shaping at the end. It's one of the, when I did toys for factory production, they all had face shaping to bring the eyes often into alignment and give the face a little bit more character. So I'll pop some stuffing.
Lovely.
In this.
Any advice with regards to the type of stuffing we should go for?
Just something nice and soft with a good loft to it.
Okay. And don't be too stingy, I suppose, with it as well?
Well, I stuff the heads quite firmly, but then, and I'm a bit of an overstuffer as well. I will sort of afterwards sort of feel it and think, oh no, that's too tough, so I'm going to take some out again. But generally, I try and stuff the head with quite a lot of stuffing, but then not so much in the body, so it's a bit cuddlier. But really, when you're stuffing, really push the filling in, and be quite forceful with it. And it's good to use sometimes a blunt screwdriver works quite well, or a skewer, the blunt end of a skewer. Just really push it in. I'll do this quickly now.
No, that's fine. And a nice open area to actually push in. Don't be too stingy on that opening, I'm guessing.
Yes, otherwise it's quite a rigmarole trying to get the stuffing in. But I will stuff the head only at first and then work on the head by itself before I do the rest of the body.
I notice that the head is attached to the body, which makes it easier to actually do that stuffing, because sometimes in patterns I've come across before, you've got them as two separate parts, so you stuff the head and then you have to stitch the neckline, and you're kind of trying to stitch something three-dimensional. With this, it's much easier, I'm guessing.
Yeah, when I designed toys for factory production, they never, it was just, everything was quicker on the machine, so speed was everything really. So it was always the head was attached before, and the opening was in the back or on the base or something. So I've got into that habit.
Coming together now. Does it make a difference when that stuffing starts coming in?
Pick up my needle.
It's fabulous.
But be really quite, because the short stitch length, the seams can take a good bit of manipulation. And
I love this now. Of course, we are coming to the end of Jo's first hour. She's done a fabulous job, I have to say. You've done very well. We've probably got about 4 minutes or so left within the hour, so we're going to be, I told you it goes quickly.
It does, it flies by.
Have you had a date come through yet for your next visit to us at all yet?
I've not yet. Hopefully I'll be on 2 feet by then.
Hopefully. You haven't grown another foot by then. Not a foot high, but like the broken foot. And I'm guessing that you've got more characters that you've got in your kind of collection.
I have. I've got a couple of ideas. I've got another one actually, which is completely on some fabric arrived, and I thought, I'm going to make something with this.
So you've got lots of ideas bubbling away.
Yes.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see those as well. But obviously, as you're adding the stuff, I can't quite see what you're still adding the stuff in just there.
I'll do some face shaping now. Often face shaping will go from the chin to the eyes or between the eyes. On this one, I just stuff the head and leave the back open, because I can take the needle through the back and bring it out where I want to. In this case, I think it's 3 centimetres along this seam.
Oh, and this is to create kind of his smile?
Yes.
Or just under his muzzle, yeah.
So bring the thread out, the knot's held inside there, so that's a bit neater. And then make a few small stitches just to secure the thread. Okay. And then I would have more stuffing in this actually at this point. And you can pop something inside to support it, a stick or something, just to hold it nice and taut. Okay. And then go from that point up to the eye above. You need a nice long needle for this.
And there are actually toy needles you can buy, aren't there?
You can.
Yeah, that's kind of a longer length.
Because often when needles are bigger, longer, they tend to be thicker, which is not ideal for getting through the fabric. So you want to go...
So this is kind of pulling the face to give it the dimension and the look.
It's easiest if I do it on me, but it's sort of giving it a bit of a squidge and a bit of a cheek.
Like that, there we go. That's what Jo just did. A bit like that.
So I don't know if it shows up. This side's not been done, but see if I pull on the thread, it just brings his mouth, because he's a bit of a grumpy dog.
They do
just
have that look, don't they?
They do. Into a bit more of a smile. And it just brings his eye in.
It's clever that that's done that way, and because of the nature of obviously using the same threads and everything, then you don't see that. But yeah, as you can see, kind of like it's difficult to show because of it being a black fabric there. But you can kind of see, if I pop my finger there, that's kind of pulling the fabric in and then up to the top as well. So yeah, it is a fabulous way of creating that face. And of course, that gorgeous little nose there, very clever technique, taking that triangle and tucking it down to give that shape. And that's what it's all about, getting the shape to give them a personality. I love it. So yeah, nice and easy. So it does make a difference doing that. And that's the final stage.
Yes,
really.
just to really get the look you want. With Mortimer, it goes from the bottom of his chin sort of up to his eyes, just to pull them inwards a little bit. and give him a little bit more of a
that
cheek.
little dimple kind of, you can see, so it's this shaping, that kind of roundness that you've got there. Obviously you've got your seam there, but of course it's bringing that fullness up to the top there. Now this little character, this adorable face, belongs to Mortimer. Mortimer is your monkey kit, £32.49. Now Mortimer is available as a kit. It's got a little bit of hook and loop that gives him the opportunity to hold on to something like so, or you could be going for the pattern by itself. Obviously your kit does come with the pattern, but if you want to go for the pattern by itself, over a third of the stock has gone of Mortimer's pattern. Same item number would get you the pattern for Reggie, which we'll tell you about in a few moments, but if you wanted Mortimer's pattern, the details on your screen are the ones that you want. Talking of Reggie is the next kit, so very, very quickly giving you the details of Reggie. Fabulous little pug with the curliest of curly little tails, as you can see there. £29.99 is the case of all the kit with regards to the fabric. So you're going to get fur fabric, you're going to get the fabric for the little bow tie there, your embroidery floss, the eyes, all of that included, and of course the booklet that is relating to Reggie. But again, Reggie's book, Reggie's pattern, if you want the pattern by itself, then you can do £11.99. Then we've got the lovely bow. Bow being a very traditional style teddy bear, and I think you've captured that perfectly, but without the joints. It's quite a clever way of creating him. Bow comes to you as a kit for £29.99 with that beautiful rose fur, which has got that lovely kind of little swirl, as you can see, super soft. Over a quarter of the stock has gone. You will get the fabric for his bow as well, so that is the thing that's included with these. Don't forget, with every one of these you are going to get a little pin badge as well, so a pin badge kind of depicting the ones for the bear that you're going for. So if you are going to go for bow, you will get a different one. We might be able to show you those before we say goodbye. So that one is bow. Again, bow is available as a pattern. So if you are wanting to get hold of your pattern, then you can see there absolutely beautiful patterns. And of course, if you are going for a little bow, then you are going to get that fabulous little pin there if you're going for the kit. And then finally, we've got the lovely Mortimer that we've been learning so much. Sorry, Godfrey, I do apologise. Oh, Godfrey, I'm terrible with names. So Godfrey, he is your sloth. Again, you are going to get your pattern, you are going to get your little pin badge if you're going for the kit, and they are all proving to be very, very popular. Jo, I have to say, I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely. And congratulations, you completed your first ever show, and I'm sure it won't be long before we see you back again. No. And thank you for bringing us these fabulous kits.
Oh, no, thank you for having me on.
Not at all. Hope to see you back very, very soon. Now, if you've got anything in your basket, I do suggest you pop those baskets through checkout, because they are lovely kits. I would hate for you to miss out on any of these. And don't forget, if you have treated yourself to a kit, why not treat yourself to an additional pattern for one of the other animals? Jo, you've been an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for all your fabulous designs, and we will see you again very soon.
Yes.
See you later.